Really liberating to understand what's going on. I would certainly rather know than not know. Once you find out about the chemtrail spraying, you can't unlearn it. And I couldn't live in a world where I know this is going on and do nothing about it, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm just as guilty as the guy releasing that nozzle from that jet. So I feel it's my responsibility to the earth and to everything and everyone on it to try and help the situation. We are a collective, we're a team, and we've got to fix this. The media is owned by 6 corporations. I mean, we're being told what to believe. We have to be able to develop our own critical thinking ability so we can see past the lies. Living in a big city, I became very conductive with the metals in my body, which are extremely difficult to excrete. So moving to a more rural area, the electromagnetics aren't as severe, but when they're spraying, they still affect me neurologically, so it's very difficult. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune illness, so it was never really specific. So I knew I had heavy metal poisoning, so I got some tests, and I had the perfect chemtrail footprint, really. I have the barium, the aluminum, the strontium, the manganese.
Barium deposits in the muscles, lungs, and bone. It strips immune-protecting selenium from the body. Water-soluble barium can cause difficulties in breathing, stomach and chest pains, increased blood pressure, heart arrhythmia, and damage to the heart, liver, and kidneys. Aluminum, a desiccant, sucks nutrients and moisture from air and soil. Aluminum strips the body of boron, necessary for strong bones and metabolizing phosphorus and magnesium. In plants, aluminum produces chlorosis, a condition where there is insufficient chlorophyll for photosynthesis. Nanoaluminum is a major causal factor in the dramatic rise of Alzheimer's. It enters the brain via nasal passages. Nanoparticles of aluminum accumulates in the bone marrow, lymph nodes, heart, and cell membranes. Aluminum binds with fluoride to greatly increase fluoride toxicity.
After a young girl introduced me to the fact that something was going up in our skies, I wanted to investigate because it disturbed me that someone so young was aware of something very foreign to me. It prompted me to further investigate this claim that our skies were no longer blue, that we were being sprayed. I believe the good in people. I'm idealistic. I'm a positive person. So the thought that our government could be harming us was hard to understand, was hard to fathom, but investigation prompted it to be truth and reality. There's surveillance, the biological weapons, military operations, the weather modifications. It's a United Nations agenda, yes. Worldwide agenda, NATO agenda. Nobody is immune to this spraying. Megalomania and their sociopathic nature. They do not care that they are being sprayed, nor do they care if children are being sprayed. I believe they also have very expensive air filtration systems. They have availability to the best health care and to the best food. So that 1% will be able to survive while others are eating, drinking everything that is contaminated. It's so multi-layered. It's control. It's absolute control of our food system, control of the people, control of the weather. You can use the term chemtrail, you can use the term solar radiation management or stratosphere aerosol geoengineering. I think at the end of the day, they are really all the same. It's the same situation, whether they're spraying in the troposphere or the stratosphere, they're still spraying us. I really didn't have a sense of understanding the whole complicity and duplicity of these programs. It takes a lot of research to understand how deep the rabbit hole goes in terms of everybody protecting these programs. The general consensus is we have to accept what the government gives us because this is status quo and this is the way it's always been. I myself don't accept that. You go through a lot of emotions after you find out. We've always been guinea pigs for the government. We truly are living in a matrix. You start looking up and you start paying attention and you will see that those white lines in the sky are not the same white lines as a child. We have very few cumulus clouds anymore. I suspect they aren't real. Nothing is real. Our weather is not real. Every weather event now is manufactured. It's poison on a complete cumulative scale, so it's every day you're ingesting this and you're drinking this. It's just a given you're going to have a body breakdown. Aurelia in Ontario have been quite successful. People are very, very receptive to us. Often we don't even have to go and approach people. They will come to our booth. Particularly with our banners. Our banners are, we have a Fred Flintstone banner saying, look up and see the chemtrails, he's sleeping in a hammock. So it's facetious but primal, and I think it hits people on kind of a humorous level, but also really primordial. And we also just put another banner up correlating the chemtrails to Monsanto and their aluminum resistant seeds. That one has really, really been received well as we are in a farmer's market. And people are really, really interested in food. So people, and people love talking about the food and the Monsanto. So it's a really nice segue to get into, to talk about chemtrails without looking overly conspiratorial, because we are being sprayed with aluminum, and here Monsanto has a patented resistant aluminum seed. So it's really an easy way to connect the dots for people. I never really anticipated myself becoming an activist. I've always been more introspective and observer, kind of on the sidelines. So no, I never really anticipated this, but that's okay to take this role. I'm happy to do it. Not everybody's going to react the same way, but apathy is complicity, indifference is complicity. For me, acting on it is an essential. Many people are still in a cognitive dissonance of sorts. People do not want to accept the fact that we are being sprayed and we are being poisoned, because they have to do something about it. You have to come at it from a real unemotional aspect. Give them a flyer, give them a video, but you can't be emotional about it or get angry, because they won't take you seriously. It's a delicate subject as well as a tough subject. When I first found out about chemtrails, I started watching the movies. So what in the world are they spraying? Why in the world are they spraying? Look Up is very good as well. Alana Freeland's book is so intricate. It's another seminal piece. So detailed. Alana cites 7 reasons in her book for the spraying, and she gets into it very explicitly, but at the end of the day, an electromagnetic gulag, imprisonment. There's poisons being directed at us from every level. It's in our water, it's in our air, it's in our food. Our system simply cannot handle the body burden that is happening right now, because everything is contaminated. People need to become aware. People have to put down their iPhones and stop watching TV and look at what's important. You know, get back to some reality. They are taking away all our rights and freedoms, and we will have no say in anything, and again, it will be an electromagnetic gulag. In terms of the allopathic route of medicine, allopathic route,
Mainstream medical use of pharmacological active agents to treat or suppress symptoms. Wikipedia.
I did investigate that for a number of years. It did not work. It did not ameliorate any kind of symptomology I was experiencing. So it's truly a broken paradigm that simply makes money for big corporate, big agri, big pharma. So I proceeded to do a lot of investigation on my own and came up with just a lot of different modalities. It's a rather hit and miss thing in terms of your own health. It's been an interesting journey, you know, regaining health. The doctors that are more cognizant of the aerosol spraying are in the naturopathy, homeopathy area.
In terms of removing the fluoride, it's an easy waste receptacle, us. So, I mean, it's from the phosphate fertilizer industry. We know that. It's HFSA, it's a bait and switch, it's not sodium fluoride. So we know we're ingesting poison and they don't want to dispose of it responsibly, so they're giving it to us. And yes, they do want to dumb us down. It zombifies, it makes us passive and complicit for their agenda. There's a real deluge of Alzheimer's and dementia and autism and ADHD as well. These kind of neurological illnesses are rampant and people really need to wake up and start questioning what's going on here. You also have to look at the fluoride in the water. So the fluoride combined with the aluminum penetrates the blood-brain barrier. So it's attacking your brain, your central nervous system, and it's just a given if you're getting sprayed with those chemtrails and you're drinking fluoridated water, you're going to get sick. Every living organism is affected and damaged by chemtrails. The biggest thing in terms of a chemtrail protection is detox. That is absolutely a non-negotiable. So I would start off eating clean. You get rid of all your processed foods, eat organic as much as possible, lots of green juices to flush out your system. That's primary because food is our medicine, and although it's been compromised, it's, you know, we've got to take what we can get at this stage. Vitamin scorbutate, that's excellent, great detox. Vitamin C, also MSM, that is organic sulfur, very important, great detox. It oxygenates the blood. You can get to a naturopath or a homeopath. Those are excellent things to try and look at. IV chelation, vitamin IVs, very good. Bentonite clay foot baths, Epsom salts baths. Lots of good herbs to take. There is garlic, there's turmeric, there's cilantro, chlorella, and good digestive enzymes if your digestive system has been compromised at all. It's just a continual detox every single day. Everybody's sprayed at different velocities and different intensities, so it's just a continual management of your body to get rid of this stuff. My vitamin D intake is 4,000 IU a day. We are getting 22% less sunlight and we're getting 16% less oxygen, so we're all being very affected. Walking, yoga, meditation, it's a real mind, body, spirit thing in terms of this situation, because you really got to keep your head on straight once you realize what's happening. The chemtrail movement in Canada, very assertive. They're really acting wonderfully in terms of creating awareness. There's a lot of troubles going on that right now to distract us from this situation, so there's certainly an agenda behind that as well. Everything is contaminated. The teas we drink, the beauty products, perfumes, shampoos. We're looking at things with carcinogens monumentally. Everything you should try and do sulfate-free, organic again if possible. Castile soaps, a fluoride-free, sulfate-free toothpaste, or even use baking soda to brush your teeth. Natural essential oils instead of fragrances. Cosmetics keep to a minimum, and if you do organic, a lot of lead in those products. Coconut oil is very good in terms of a sunscreen. You don't need sunscreen. We need the sunlight. I think it was really heartrending that a 5-year-old girl educated me, Suzanne, as an adult, that something is going on in our skies, but There are some pretty wonderful activists out there that are children that are doing wonderful things, and you can look to Rachel Parent, who's really pivotal in the GMO movement in Toronto. There's lots of kids you see out there. There's some really great YouTube videos with kids talking about chemtrails.
We are under attack. That's why we made this. Our government has been spraying us like bugs using aluminum, barium, strontium, and other aerosols in order to control the climate. There are many reasons why this would be so, including weather control and for military supremacy.
Think about it.
What is really scary, though, is how slow adults are waking up to the fact that we are being poisoned by the powers that be.
The parents that are aware of this, that are educating their children, it's a real domino effect there, which is great. In terms of indoctrination for children, it's very obvious that they are being conditioned to accept the spraying. It's in many cartoons. It's in movies. It's in commercials. There shouldn't be Wi-Fi with children, small little children with developing immune systems. It's very, very irresponsible. This is a Swiss Perfect 16 IQ Air system. It traps up to 0.003 microns of molds, fungi, bacteria. This is medical grade filtration system. This is what pretty much everybody needs. And the respiratory illness has just gone through the roof, so people really need to protect themselves. This is necessary because of the chemtrailing. Since most people are unaware of chemtrailing, they cannot correlate poisons to if they have asthma or respiratory illnesses, so it's a catch-22. The smart meter, actually, I have a protective mechanism on it that refracts the electromagnetics back outside. The smart meter is covered in an encasement, so it's helpful. We are starting a campaign in the Toronto Transit subway on one of the main lines, the Yonge Street line. It's going to have 120 transit cards right up above where people sit. What I would like to see in the future is a top-down removal of government systems, because clearly they are all culpable, they're all complicit, they're all involved. And not just the government, there's the military involved, there are universities involved. This is all very interrelated. So I would like to see the spraying stopped and the people responsible punished. The top-down removal of government systems, because clearly they are all culpable, they're all complicit, they're all involved. There's the military involved, there are universities involved. This is all very interrelated. So I would like to see the spraying stopped and the people responsible punished.